all very smooth. And he's actually doing more chromaticism here. Very beautiful. Did you agree? Very beautiful. There are many, many other examples of these kind of chords. We're almost out of time. So I'm just going to show you a brief example. Also, this is actually photocopied from your workbook, so you actually already have this example, but I thought I would draw your attention to it now. Then when you go to do it in your workbook assignment, you'll understand it a little better when you go to do it. So, this is also by Brahms, and it's in the key of C. And I want you to look at the instruments: flute, oboe, clarinet in B flat, bassoon, horn in C, trumpets, those are also in C, trombones, those are in C, and then of course violin, viola, cello, and bass. We're going to ignore the woodwinds for now, because all of the information we need is going to come to us from the brass. But the woodwinds are doubling what the brass are doing. But in this particular case, the woodwinds are transposing instruments. I know you're supposed to know how to handle transposing instruments. However, I'm going to give you a little grace and not require you to transpose at sight right now, okay? Let's look at the brass. Do you see any chromaticism in the first measure? Look at the horns, the trumpets, and the trombones. The trumpets are TRB, tromba. No. And let me just tell you what's happening there. It's a 1-4, 1-4. It's just going... Brahms is just going back and forth between the 1 chord and the 4 chord. Are you okay with that? Yeah, okay. But look at measure 3. Don't be frightened. It's just called chromaticism. Do not be frightened. Yes. So, by the way, in measure 3, the first chord on beat 2. Does anybody need me to show them where we are? Okay. The first chord is a 1 chord still. Okay. But the second chord is very chromatic. So, take a second. Just look at the brass. Do not be confused by everything else. Take a second to boil those notes down to a triad. Put it in, we're in the key of C, it doesn't matter what key we're in right now, because it's a chromatic chord. Okay? Notice that the trumpets are in the alto clef. So you have to make sure you read the pitches correctly. Does anybody need help? Raise your hand. You got an answer already? You already have a Roman numeral? Or just an answer?
No.
The name of the chord? What's the name of the chord? You're working on this chord, right? You got a chord yet?
The letters.
The letters? Okay, who's got the pitches? There's only 3 pitches, even though there's a lot of notes. Aubrey?
A flat, C flat.
Not a C flat.
Or C.
Yeah, A flat, C, E flat. Is that a major chord on A flat?
Yes.
Okay? That's a major chord, but it's chromatic. It could be a secondary dominant, except for the fact that A flat is a 5th above D flat. D flat's not in our key. So most likely it is a borrowed chord. So it would be borrowed from C minor. And is there an A flat chord in C minor? There sure is. What's it called in C minor? 6. You went. There, 6. This is major 6. So what is our Roman numeral for the borrowed chord here?
Major 6.
Flat 6. We call it a flat 6. But yes, it's major. But you must call it a flat 6 to show when we're talking. Call it a flat 6. That way we know to build it on a lower 6th note. Okay. Before you leave, one more thing. I want to listen to it. So that this progression goes, and then measure 3, 1, flat 6, 1. And look over in the 5th measure. In the 5th measure, what do the trombones go down to? What note do the trombones go down to? Whole note down there. F. They turn this chord into an F minor chord. Okay, F minor. What do we call F minor in the key of C major? What did you say? The minor 4. the minor 4. That's the same chord we saw the Beatles do on Nowhere Man. It's the same chord we saw Brahms do at the beginning of the German Requiem. It's the same thing we're seeing Brahms do right here. So he goes 1, 4, 1, 4, 1, flat 6, 1, flat 6, minor 4, 1. Let's listen to it, and you'll find it to be one of the most satisfying examples because the chord progression is so smooth. You can actually hear the guy from your textbook telling you what example it is.
Exercise 21,
Eyes on the
1C3.
Four chord. Back to 1. Flat 6.